everybody listening. We wanted to take this opportunity to let everybody that has been watching, and maybe even some newcomers, an inside look into Over the Fence. So for those of you that have been watching and seen how we've been able to transition and all of the improvements, I would actually say, to Over the Fence, it is really due to Ciara Fearon. And so we wanted to give her the opportunity to be on and answer some questions. And we're kind of calling this the inside look to Over the Fence, but we're also going to give it its own title, which is Fun Facts with Ciara Fearon.
Yeah, I like that. Fun Facts is great.
So full disclosure, Ciara, you are my daughter, and that's kind of how you ended up with this gig in the first place, because in the beginning of this, I was pretty desperate, and I
wouldn't say desperate. I would just say, as far as video editing and doing some of the more complicated things, it just wasn't your forte. And I stumbled upon it kind of blindly. Instead of, normally like, let me put in an application to be a video editor, it was more like we FaceTimed and you were scrambled. And so I watched YouTube videos for a few days to learn how to video edit. I didn't even know how.
Well, I think that says a lot about you personally, and I think it says a lot about specifically this time and how people just have to really innovate and
adapt and overcome.
And actually, we talked a little bit about this on the webinar last week, which is upskilling and maybe even reskilling in order to be able to adjust to this period of time. So I just, I've been applauding you on a personal level for your entire life, really.
It's a little biased.
Yeah, I am a little biased, but specifically during this period of time, you have been an immense help to me. And I think you've really just taken this video podcast to a whole nother level. And I really appreciate that. So let's get to Fun Facts with Ciara Fearon.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go.
So we're going to give a little bit of a lead into something that will be coming up in the podcast on Thursday with Leslie Jones. And that is that first fun fact for Ciara Fearon is that you have what they call color. Well, you're going to give the appropriate title, but we've always just said color definition issues.
Yeah, we're just going to call it color definition issues. The name's long and there's so many things. If you Google it, that is going to come up. I have an issue between blues and purples, oranges and yellows, like if you're talking like a gradient scale. So I know what blue is, I know what purple is, I can see those two colors, but when you start mixing them together and you get like fuchsia or teal, I cannot see those colors very well. It just doesn't make sense to my brain. So of course, Leslie's favorite color was one of the colors that I couldn't see. So I was like, okay, I got this. I'll Google a picture of teal, and Google knows everything. And when I typed in teal, everything looked the same, but it was not the same. And so I had all of my roommates come look at it and they were like, no, this one's teal. No, this one's teal. No, this one's teal. So blindly, I picked one. So hopefully it actually is her favorite shade of teal, not like a turquoise or something like you said, but yeah, no, it's definitely difficult. Not the most fun thing ever in the world, but I've learned.
Yeah, and that can be a little bit trying, and I think people with color blindness might really relate to you, but we didn't realize it was such a significant problem for you until prom, which you walked around really, and us not even being aware or knowing until I think it was pretty close to actual prom night, when you had continued to tell your date that your dress was purple?
Yeah, I thought my dress was purple. And so we had been coordinating. I didn't want him to see the dress. And so we had been coordinating and I kept telling his mom, oh, it's purple. It's purple. It's a really dark shade of purple. And they went shopping and she said, you know what? I just have a really weird feeling. Send me a picture of you in the dress. And so I did. I took a cutesy little picture of me in this giant like ball gown looking dress. And it was actually his mom who had to inform me that the dress was not in fact purple, but this navy blue. And yeah, so thankfully she did make me send her a picture, or else we would have not looked as great as we did that night. She did a good job. I mean, and I remember coming to you that day angry, and I was like, no, my dress is purple. It has to be purple. I wanted purple. And you were like, no, Ciara, that's blue. That's definitely blue. And now that I see pictures of it, I can definitely tell once I highlighted things and changed some of the aspects of the picture. But yeah, no, it was blue.
Definitely blue.
Yep. Never wore a blue dress after that. We started to go into shades of pink the following years.
Oh, that's yeah, one of my favorite stories. So another Ciara Fearon fun fact is that you started playing the flute, really playing the flute at age 8, but I think it was even earlier than that.
Yeah, so you and I just talked about it. I was taking a music class in elementary, so you normally play the recorder and learn how to play hot cross buns and have a little concert with your family to let them know how great you've been doing in music class. And my music teacher, Miss Loop, saw how fast I was picking up learning how to play the recorder, and she saw like underlying talent there. And she had played the flute throughout high school and actually gave me her personal flute to learn how to play. And so for 2 years, I had music books that she would buy me learning how to play. And then at 8 years old was when I started going to private lessons. How many times a week? Like, I think it was like once or twice a week at Schreiner University and at the lady's house. And if it wasn't for that, I definitely wouldn't have gotten where I was, being able to compete playing and learning so many other instruments. But yeah, no, that was definitely monumental. I can play Flight of the Bumblebee, which is one of the harder ones to play on a flute since there's so many keys you have to clack around. But yeah, no, it was fun. I did that from 6 years old to 8 years old, all the way up to my senior year of high school. So definitely a fun time.
And an instrument that a lot of people might not be aware of, which is the mountain dulcimer.
Yes.
Which is really part of our kind of family instrument, really.
Yes. Yeah. So the dulcimer is like if you were to mash a guitar and a ukulele together and then put it on your lap. So there's only 4 strings that you're able to use and play. And you basically, you can play it like a guitar if you really feel like it, but it's normally, sat across your lap, and it's used to play Appalachian mountain music and folk music. And my grandparents have a business where they make them, and so they taught me how to play them. And so for as long as I can remember, I would go to like folk music festivals where they would sell them, and I learned how to play. And then because I did that, I learned how to play the penny whistle, which is a very high-pitched recorder. And then learned how to play the hammered dulcimer, which I think has like 64 strings on it, and you use little wooden mallets to play across the instrument. So it's like a piano without the keys, pretty much. So
yeah, well, I like to say within our family, you got the music and creative talent. Your aunt Catherine got the chef talent. Not 100% sure what I received in all of those creative. You definitely got the video editing and graphic design stuff. So we have a wealth of all of those creative talents. And again,
you have the ideas. You're the one who made this go. I just put my little sparkly finish touch on it. So, I mean, you got it. It's there. I'm just good with the current technology.
Yeah, well, I thank you for that, because like I said, again, you've taken this podcast to a whole nother level, and I really appreciate it. And I think our viewers do too, because you keep making it, you keep making it fun to watch each episode. There's something different with each one. And so I know that the viewers really appreciate seeing what you're going to do next with it. So the other part of what I think is really cool about you was that you chose to start working when you were 14 years old.
Yes. So working would be the thing. So in Centerpoint High School, you do have to have volunteer hours to graduate. And I didn't want to work the concession stand because that was really hard being in band. The only times you could really do it were like basketball games, volleyball games, and football games. So I really couldn't get my community service hours through that because of all the extracurricular activities I did that forced me to do something else on top of something else on top of something else. So I chose to help you out at a job that you were currently working at the time. And I basically volunteered for the first year and a half, 2 years, and only made tips, which I still made a lot of money. For 14 and 15 years old, I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm pretty sure I spent it all on clothing and makeup. And so I did that. And then when I was finally old enough to get the job, I applied and got the job, of course, serving yogurt and making coffee. So I was a little barista. And that, of course, progressed into, working for Lemon Tree Cleaners in Kerrville, which was an amazing summer job. I absolutely loved it there. And that was my first actual summer job. And then I transitioned from there to the Kerrville Walmart. I probably look way different, so no one's going to recognize me. I had very short hair. And then from there to Dollar General, and then from there to the career that I'm in now. And so it kind of just snowballed. I've been on the grind since I was 14, as long as I can remember. So I hate not working. Yeah,
there's something to be said about having some consistent money. When you get used to that, that's a little bit difficult.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult the past couple of months not having a job. I did not know what to do with myself. My boyfriend appreciated it because the house was constantly clean, because that's all I could figure out what to do. Was I was drawing, doing my makeup and cleaning. So I was like the stereotypical 40s housewife. I would get all dressed up, do my makeup, cook dinner, clean the house, and then he would come home and I'd be in my little dress like, I made you this today. So when I got my job back, he wasn't too psyched. Of course, he was psyched that I was finally happy and making money again, but he definitely misses me being home every night to do that kind of stuff.
Well, and I think, having I think it's been a great thing for me to be able to work with you again. That was something that I always enjoyed. That was some pretty significant bonding time between us. And, this has been a different experience between the two of us, but, having that as an opportunity during some of your, I'm not going to call it downtime. I don't think it was downtime for most of us.
No, definitely not downtime, but downtime.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. One last fun fact for Ciara Fearon. What is your favorite color?
Because I have the issues with all of my color definition issues, it's not a normal color. I love rose gold. Don't know why, but I even thought about purchasing a car that comes in rose gold. I didn't even like the car. I didn't even like anything about it. I don't even like the car company, but it comes in rose gold. And thankfully I had some people who talked me down and they were like, look, just buy a car and save up money and get it painted to whatever color you want. So definitely rose gold.
Well, I think we share that one as well. I think my shade of rose gold on the other side of things is pink. So I think we share that color as well. Right. I know. I have to default blue or pink,
Blue or pink.
Yeah, blue or pink. So, well, Ciara, thank you for giving your time to be on this episode of the Inside Look on Over the Fence. And thank you for everything that you've done just to elevate the video podcast and make it so much more than it started out to be. And if you want to see the comparison of what it was before Ciara started doing our editing, feel free to check out the very first episode. Content was exceptional with Clint Fiore. But again, check out that very first video as opposed to where we've come and what Ciara has been able to do to just take it to a whole nother level. So really appreciate you, and have to say that I'm super jealous of your setup. I think that you have a better podcast setup than I do, and so I'm gonna have to work on that. This is actually the first time that I've seen it, and I'm super jealous. So,
well, I mean, it's a pretty cool setup. I can't take responsibility for all of the purchases on this setup. That's definitely Maxwell's department. I'll show a little picture of us, like insert right here. But yeah, so I begged him to let me use his awesome setup today so that I looked super professional, but
Oh, well, I appreciate your honesty and it, you know, I get to talk to you all the time, but again, I think it's really important that our listeners and viewers have the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better and your personality. So when all those funny and quirky little inserts and voices, and I say because they're little pop-ups that come through in the video,
Pop-up bubbles, yeah.
pop-up bubbles, you know, they understand who they're coming from. So thanks again for your time, and everybody make sure that you stay tuned and listen to Thursday, because I have to say by far, and I know I keep saying that, but by far Thursday is my absolute favorite.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for that one to go up. I think that one's been my favorite one so far.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gil.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, Ciara, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for being on.
Oh, for sure. It was good to see you again, Mom.
Yeah. Have a great day.
You too.
Hey guys, so it's me again, Ciara. I just wanted to come on at the end without my mom and thank everybody for the likes and comments on all of the videos that we've been doing. And I just wanted to tell my mom that I absolutely love her and she's doing an amazing job. I'll see y'all later.